evening, everybody. As you know, LA Voice works with about 70 multi-faith congregations, and we partner with about a dozen of community organizations throughout LA County to build power for our community. We've invited some of the leaders and partners to ask you some questions about real-world policies that affect our flock and the people they serve. First, I'm happy to welcome Jose Osuna, coordinator and member of the Long Beach Coalition for Safety and Justice. Jose?
Thank you, Tina, and welcome, DA Gascón, and thank you for joining us today. There aren't a lot of communities that have a district attorney that makes himself accessible to the community the way that you have today. So first and foremost, I want to thank you for making yourself available and sharing your thoughts with us today. I live in the city of Long Beach, and so I bring to you a Long Beach specific question. I also bring this question to you as a person that was incarcerated at the age of 18 for something that I felt that I really shouldn't have been incarcerated for, and my life could have been different. It was a drug offense. Here in Long Beach, there are programs in place that create pathways to diversion for juveniles and adults. Yet, Long Beach PD, Long Beach Unified School District, and the local DA have historically chosen incarceration over diversion. What are you going to do in partnership with the community so that this practice does not continue to happen in the future?
Yeah, and this is actually, Jose, it's actually Long Beach is one of the communities that has been selected by the Alternatives to Incarceration Office of the county under Judge Armstead to begin a pilot program where there is going to be increased funding and resources for diversion. There are about 10 communities that have been selected, but Long Beach is one of those. And I believe that she selected it in part because of the wealth of community organizations that are ready to assist. And I know that the county's working the contracting agreements, and the idea is actually starting with on the low end, the low level offenses where the police department, if they make an arrest, instead of taking somebody to jail, there will be a 24/7 process where there will be social workers that would immediately connect with the individual that was being arrested and sort of do a seamless warm handoff to the appropriate level of services and intervention. And that's going to start shortly. In fact, officially started the first of the month, but it will take obviously weeks to roll out. And there are other communities that were doing it too. On the higher end, we're aggressively working with the Office of Diversion and Reentry in the county and Judge Espinosa. And the goal there is to deal primarily with people that have mental health and substance dependence problems that are also engaged in more serious crimes. And we're very aggressively, working on that other end of the spectrum. Also, and this is where, of course, there is a uniqueness to a few communities around the county, and Long Beach is one of them, where they have a city attorney that is a city prosecutor, right? So, misdemeanors in Long Beach do not come to my office, they go to the city prosecutor. It's the same thing in the city of LA, by the way. There are about 10 city attorneys around the county that actually do misdemeanor work. So when it comes to the low-level offenses, other than the work that is being done with Judge Armstead, you also have to, there has to be a connection to the city attorney's office through the mayor and some other stakeholders, the city council. So there's also a process there that I know well, and I know you guys are trying, but I guess I say this to say you got to continue to push. But there are some things that are occurring now. When it comes to juveniles, my office handles it all, even Long Beach, right? So juveniles, regardless of whether it's a low-level offense or a serious offense. So we're already aggressively working on creating restorative justice approach to dealing with juveniles. As I mentioned at the very beginning, we're not transferring kids to adult court And we're really moving very fast. I brought in a former public defender who's been doing work on the juvenile space for many years, called Lisa Blair, and she is leading the charge on bringing both restorative justice to our juvenile programs. As well, she's also working on diversion for adults and juveniles. So there's a lot of things that are cooking at the moment, and some of them very promising that are coming to Long Beach. But I think, you got to continue to push, the organizations that you work with. There is a local component that is really run by local government independently of my office, that you guys got to make sure that you continue to nudge them and to make sure that things are happening in that end.
Thank you.